Hey cycling community, this is Steve Brusis, the Cycling Greek. Let's talk about doctors and second opinions. After I got out of the hospital, they gave me the name of a doctor associated with the hospital that I can check out my collarbone with and look at options. I went there, they took a couple of x-rays, a couple of different angles, and then I met with the doctor. And this doctor heard some good things about. What he stated and what the x-rays showed were basically what you're seeing on the screen right now. The break is near the shoulder and this at an angle. It's not a lot of bone area, not a lot of real estate that we can attach plates to with screws. And so therefore, another plate would have to be used to go over the shoulder in which to attach the shoulder to the collarbone and force that connection there. But that would immobilize my shoulder, and then another surgery would be needed to remove that plate of my shoulder so that my shoulder can move again. He also stated that with those two bones not being connected, because the proximal side is now up, it may never form a connection there. But he alluded to that more than likely scar tissue would form between those two breaks, and that would harden, and then that would be the connection. And his opinion was to go without the surgery. So all that sounded good, but still this is something new, and I just wasn't quite sure, so I wanted to get a second opinion to get some more information. I got a referral from a teammate who's in the medical field, and I went to go see that doctor, actually a PA, physician's assistant. I went in there, they took a couple of x-rays at a couple of different angles, and that's where the differences started. The first major difference was in the x-ray. The x-ray was much more clear with the referral doctor I just went to than the first doctor. It also showed that the angle of the break was not that 45 degrees, but was straight across down. And it also showed more bone that was on the proximal side of the break, on the shoulder side of the break, so that a plate can be actually inserted connecting the collarbones and not having to immobilize the shoulder at all. The second difference is in what the doctor told me. He said that with the breaks being unconnected like that more than likely scar tissue would not form, and that they would always be like that. He says he's worked on a number of motorcycle racers that have broken their collarbones and that have left them unconnected, figuring that they'd be breaking them later on in another race in the future. Now, he did have this one person that went without surgery, and they were unconnected. But he said the pain was so great for him that eventually he had the surgery about 3 years later, and that he's doing fine now. The other difference was in the clientele of each of the doctors. So the first doctor associated with the hospital, his clientele was more of the average person. The clientele of the second doctor I went to go see, even though they see anybody, they do a lot of sports injuries. I took this information and I discussed it that night with the Fed team as the Cycling Greek. And then it was decided later on that surgery is the way to go. So I informed the doctor, and so now we're going through all the pre-work. Pre-work primarily right now is going to be getting it okayed by the insurance. The moral of the story is, if you're ever in this or a similar situation, there's nothing wrong with getting a second or even a third opinion. Remember, whatever decision you do is what you have to live with. So getting all the information you can before you make that decision is the best way to go. All right, you know the drill. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notified by the next video, and I'll see you next time. The Cycling Greek.